uh, UTech, all the universities and colleges that involved in higher education. So we all belong to the same body. But we are a little older than the 26 though, because we did start training as a training institution, closer to 30 years ago. Now, what VTI or vector technologies, depending on the name and at what point you first knew of vector. The one thing we are not a traditional college. We are best categorized as a career college, where you are provided with the skills you need to perform as specialist in targeted areas. However, like traditional colleges or universities, we offer the many program options. You heard a couple of them a few minutes ago with respect to the diploma, the associate degrees, and the degrees. But we do offer a lot of certificates, certifications, and of course, all of that were mentioned. And we are eventually looking at offering graduate degrees in the future. So why should you attend Vector over that of the many traditional schools? First, if you're seeking to become a specialist in an area in information technology or engineering, then it makes sense to attend a college that specializes in the area that you wish to focus. Our directed approach means that students can complete their training more quickly and efficiently, which can be especially beneficial for those who know precisely what career path they want to pursue. Aside from offering specific industry certifications that are globally recognized, we have also integrated, as you have seen, many of these certifications within our academic programs. Now, this offers a two-in-one value as you can pursue and achieve both your academic and industry recognized credits at the same time. Aside from our leadership in technology education, we are also known for our innovation in education delivery methods. Our use of online learning methods long preceded the oncoming of the COVID pandemic, and hence our online platform is considered mature and it is based on best practices. We use course material from original authors and award-winning instructional designers. Original authorship of learning material comes from organizations like CompTIA, Cisco, VMware, the Electronic Technicians Association, and the Fiber Optic Association, etc. We are a multimodal college where we mix appropriate technologies in the delivery of our courses. We use the technology that best fit the course being delivered and the learning requirements of our students. We use a mix of online, including synchronous and asynchronous activities in the delivery of course material, live Zoom lectures, recorded video lectures, recorded class sessions, hands-on open labs, virtual labs, and traditional face-to-face sessions. This, therefore, facilitates the highest level of individualism in learning to accommodate different learning paces, lifestyles, work and life commitments, etc. Students can design their own learning spaces as individuals or groups and are constrained only by their own creativity and desire to excel. A major advantage comes from the student makeup of our classes. Every class comprises a diverse number of working IT professionals who provide exposure to rich job experiences and excellent networking opportunities. Many students have gotten their start and career advancements through networking with their peers. Vector has strong connections with the IT industry. Remember, we started in the IT industry. We know the industry and we know the people in the industry. This has benefited our students as it has led to better in the field job opportunities and a more straightforward transition from education to employment through internships and frequent job seeking invitations. Most Vector students are employed soon after commencing their studies and as they become more skilled and qualified with each course completed. Even though our main purpose is to prepare our students to be job ready and fit for industry, we also provide a solid foundation for our students to progress into even higher academic levels, where many have gone on to their graduate studies and earn degrees at the highest levels. As the saying goes, from a pin to an anchor, whether from a short course to a longer degree, Vector is the place that you want to study. I'll just say thank you, and I'm sure you will enjoy this evening. And if you're not yet a student at Vector, we hope that this information session will be helpful in making that decision. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mar. That was great. All right. So next up on our agenda, we have Mr. Lloyd Brown. So Mr. Lloyd Brown is an IT specialist who has been an instructor with Vector Technology Institute since 2008. That has been a pretty long time. So Mr. Brown will basically sharing with us VTI association with the IT industry, and he will also be breaking down the global certification bodies. Remember when I was mentioning about the CompTIA certifications, the Cisco certifications, and those global certifications, and Mr. Brown will be able to go in depth and explain what these certifications mean. Mr. Brown, are you with us? Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Do you need to share or you're okay?
Yes, I'll be sharing.
Okay, no problem. All right, you can go ahead now, Mr. Brown.
Okay, thank you. I trust you're seeing my screen.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the introduction, Ms. Edwards. And I think that Dr. Mars touched on some of the points that I will be talking about. Vector Technology Institute, its association with the ICT industry and the global certification bodies. So I guess the first question we'd want to answer is the why. And Vector Technology Institute is an academic institution. However, our students will, after graduating and very often before graduation, they're actually in the industry working. So since they're going to be working in this industry, it is important for us as an institution to have a clear understanding as to what is it the industry is looking for in its workforce, and also where the industry is looking to go in the future. And this is a reason why Vector has a very strong and maintains a very strong association with the ICT industry. Now, how is that maintained? It starts from the top. The president of Vector Technology Institute is a part of JITSA, a body that is made up of organizations from the ICT industry. These organizations are drivers in the industry, and our president was elected president in 2018 of that organization. And so he is leading the way in terms of ensuring that he himself is very aware and completely participating in the industry and knowing where the industry is going. In addition, and Dr. Mard mentioned, Vector Technology Institute was born from Vector Design, which is a technology company. And so Vector Technology Institute has its roots in the industry. Vector Technology Institute also has a very active advisor board. The Institute regularly consults with the advisor board to ensure that we are getting the best insight as to where the industry is going, and to be able to use that to provide guidance in how our programs are designed and delivered. In addition, our instructors are from the ICT industry. These instructors are working in the industry on a daily basis, and therefore are able to bring this experience and expertise to the classroom, ensuring that our students are getting the real world view of what the industry is like as they go through their academic studies. Vector has also introduced an internship program. This internship program ensures that for students who are not yet working, they're able to get a first-hand view of the ICT industry and what it entails, and be able to make decisions as to what part of that industry they would want to participate in when they eventually start working in the industry. Moving the discussion now to look at the certification bodies. So first of all, we want to just talk about what exactly are certification bodies. Certification bodies are organizations. So they're not academic institutions. They are organizations that target professional development in specific areas. These organizations may look at cybersecurity. They may look at network engineering. So these organizations are not going to be accredited by local, in any jurisdiction at all, by local university accreditation institutions. However, they are accredited by the United States Department of Defense. The United States Department of Defense has varying levels of accreditation where they look at what is needed for the federal government to have persons operating at the highest level in the specific area in the industry. And if the certification bodies are offering certification that covers content and skills that matches that expertise, then the Department of Defense will endorse such certification bodies. So this is what the certification bodies are. They tend to look not in any one particular country, but they look on a worldwide basis. And on a regular regularly, when they update their certifications, they invite persons from across many countries to provide expertise and guidance as to what is the current expectations of the industry, so that the certifications can be designed around that. So that is what these certification bodies are. One such organization is Cisco. Now, Cisco maintains the certifications in the network engineering and the cybersecurity, and also in voice and video collaboration area. The Cisco's network engineering is a certification that has been incorporated in Vector's bachelor's program, hence ensuring that aside from meeting the local accreditation requirements, Vector is also providing this international view and skill that the world requires. So in the case where some of our students are migrating, they would be able to hit the ground running when they arrive in the countries of their choice to live and work. VMware is another organization. VMware specializes in virtualization. For those who are in the industry, you would know virtualization is the thing that is driving the industry now. And in almost every sphere of the industry, there's virtualization, and VMware certification program is being deployed by Vector, and there are other VMware course material that is also incorporated within the bachelor's program. Dr. Moore mentioned CompTIA. So CompTIA is also one of those international certification bodies. CompTIA has a wide range of certification, starting from certifications that target the individual computers being able to understand, troubleshoot, and be able to operate a computer with a high degree of expertise. They also have certification that target networking, cybersecurity, and these certifications are also a part of the Vector courses. There's also the ETA. The ETA is an organization that offers certification in fiber and also in electronics. The ETA's content is also a part of Vector's course offering. And then there's the FOA. FOA, Fiber Optic Association, is another organization that offers certification. The fiber certification program that is delivered by Vector is meeting the standards of the FOA, and persons are able to attain their FOA certification once they have successfully completed the course and is able to pass the FOA certification exam. And so that takes us to the end of what I had to share. I hope I was able to provide some useful information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. I know you did indeed.
So I go ahead and close my share now.
Yes, yes. We will take questions afterwards, guys. So you can hold your questions if you have any. Or you can put them in the chat. and we will answer them as we go throughout the event. Okay, let me get back to sharing my screen. Okay, so our next guest speaker is Miss K. Wilson Kelly. Now, Miss Wilson Kelly is an experienced user support manager with a demonstrated history of working in insurance, in the pension, individual and group life, individual and group health, industry, and the shipping industry. She's also skilled in Microsoft Excel, Word, Access, PowerPoint projects. And she has years of experience with application systems, development, integration and support, currently using Agile implementation methodology. She has a strong background in implementing and supporting the full Oracle financial suites. She's experienced in managing special projects and a team of business analysts. She has strong business development professional. She's customer service oriented, and she's a graduate from the University of the West Indies and the University of Derby. She's currently the operations manager and project lead at Advanto. She's also a software developer in the organization. Right, so we have Miss Wilson Kelly here. Miss Wilson, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Good
Okay.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, I am seeing about 30 odd persons on the Zoom. And I know it was just said that you can, well, it's now gone to 42. It was just said that you can hold your questions till after. I love interaction, so I may just ask some general questions throughout, just to get a feel of who I'm speaking to out there. But I'll tell you a little bit about me. So you just got an introduction, and thanks for that introduction about me, but I'll give you a little bit about me from little me. So little me wanted to be a teacher. I don't know if based off what I'm doing now, that is considered to be teaching, but that's not how my life went. Little me, my mother taught me how to type. So I'm not as young as that picture that you're seeing there anymore, but I learned to type on one of those very old typewriters. Click, 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 clicking away. And I sat there every time, because every evening when I went home, I had to type. And I wondered, why am I doing this? What is this for? You know, now, over 35 years in IT. And trust me, those typing skills that I learned then helps me now. Helps me to do my reports, helps me to take notes in minutes, help me to write type out requirements, etc. I know you're going to probably tell me ChatGPT and all of that, and that is there to help you now, but it helps in terms of navigating what you're going to have to do on a daily basis as an IT professional. Everyone will have their own story, but the key thing is to make the most of every opportunity that you have. And don't let any pitfalls get in your way. You may fall down, but you get up. I started university right after high school. And after 2 years, I said, enough is enough. And I walked out, and this was from Gilbert. So everybody know Hurricane Gilbert from way back then. And I walked out of university, went home. And my father came in the bedroom the morning and said, "Aren't you going to school?" And I said, "No, not going back." Didn't know what I was going to do, never had a plan, but I just know I wasn't going back. And at that point in time too, I had just gotten an A in maths. And so the university had suggested that I do computer sciences. So I actually started studying computer sciences. And then, as I say, I stepped out. Then having sat at home for a couple of days, I realized, no, can't do this. Need to get independent. So I went and looked for work. And that same company that you hear talking about, Vector Design and Application Systems Limited, that's where I started. And that's where I started my career as a programmer in Foxborough, using Foxborough to develop a hardware store solution and some other financial applications. Stayed there for 11 years and then went to one of the larger financial institutions in Jamaica, still as a developer. And for some reason, a manager looked on me and thought that I could do more than just programming. And they moved me to doing business analyst work. And so I started to gather requirements for the users and supplying that to the developers for them to build. I did that and climbed the ladder from programmer, business analyst, project lead, manager, assistant vice president, all within the IT sphere. So as you choose your journey, don't think that you'll always be just an engineer or a developer or a business analyst. You can climb the ladder within the same IT sphere, moving and becoming managers, becoming presidents, becoming CEOs of the businesses that you have out there. So it is not just here where you're starting, but where you can lead to. I saw an article some time ago on social media, and it mentioned that President Obama ended his career. He retired as president in his 50s, I think it was age 55. But Biden started as a president in the 70s, in his 70s. So it is not where you start or when you start, but it is the fact that you have started and that you're going to walk the journey. As I say, it's not necessarily an easy journey. I'm not going to paint that picture and say that it is always going to be easy and always going to be a bed of roses. Sometimes you go through a lot, because I decided in the middle of, after a couple of years at Vector, I decided, no, I needed to go back to school. And so I decided to go and pick up back from where I left off at university. Then I realized it was not that easy. I literally had to start over. Still going through computer sciences, but I had to start from scratch. And I share that now because what the opportunity that you have now, sitting down here, listening to the courses that are being offered, what opportunities you can do, make the most of it. Try, start, take the first step, take the first leap and choose and move forward with it. So it was a struggle for me to go back to school. And shortly after, I had my daughter. So that made it even a little bit more complicated. So as I said before, the ride is not going to always be easy. It's not going to always be smooth. but look to the long term, look at the end of the road where you want to achieve. As I said, I reached up to the level of assistant vice president. And some of you are going to reach that level as well. Some of you are going to become CEOs of your own company. So walk the walk. Not easy, but walk the walk. I then left that financial institution, and I'm now operations manager for an IT company. So it's like almost full circle now, starting in an IT company, doing development, etc., for hardware industries for some financial entities. And I'm now back in a similar kind of setting, but this is predominantly for the shipping industry. Now, I thought after spending 11 years in one company, 16 years in another, that it was slow down time. No such thing. It seemed as though now it is just time to speed up. And when I came here, I actually came as a business analyst. I came on a project to help to rewrite some software that they had, some older software, and they wanted it in using newer technology. They wanted to use RFID technology. They wanted to go on newer platforms using newer technology, newer OS, newer software tools, agile development. They wanted to use all of those features to help to enhance the product and then put out that new product out into the market. That too hasn't been easy, but I can tell you that there is a satisfaction and a joy that I have seen the product that has been made. We're not finished yet, but it is there. It is being sold little by little. It is a product that has given me the opportunity to work with the ports in Jamaica, Kingston Wharves, the port in Montego Bay. We're able to automate the port in Montego Bay from moving them from manual to putting in automated systems. You know, it has given me the experience of going to almost flat land with just a few buildings and seeing this person asking, how do I put in a network system for this company? How do I set up the communications from this building to that building? And then they talk about bringing in a floating dock. How do I communicate with that floating dock when that comes to Jamaica? And you may sit in your little circles and don't realize that a lot is actually happening in Jamaica. There is a lot of opportunity for you to grow, for you to contribute, for you to do a lot of IT implementations in Jamaica. And it extends even further, because this year I was able to be a part, still a part, it's a year-long program, but to be a part of a program with JAMPRO. And so it's really a government-private organization collaboration where they sought some companies that they wanted to promote. And so there were 16 companies that have been chosen to be this first cohort, that they are carrying us through some grooming processes. I was able to go to a conference in Canada, which opened my eyes in terms of what IT is out there, the amount of IT companies that are out there, the amount of collaborations that are out there, because this conference is a collision conference. You have persons coming worldwide to visit. So imagine this room full of booths with just IT professionals. And day one, you would see about 50 companies. And day two, It's another 50 companies that replace those. So you have these persons coming from all over trying to sell their business, trying to collaborate. So there are opportunities. And based on even that program with JAMPRO, they, as I say, this is the first year. They'll be looking for companies for year 2, year 3, etc. And just like how they have built the BPO industry in Jamaica, they want to build Jamaica as a point of reference for IT solutions. They want the world to know that you can come and get IT resources, IT staff from Jamaica. So you're in the right place. You're sitting down in the right room right now, listening, and Vector, I can tell you, offering the right courses that can help you along that journey. I happen to sit on the advisory board as well for Vector. And so from time to time, they come to me and along with other industry players to get advice as to what is out there. So they're always keeping up to date. They're always giving you the latest. There is a picture that you're seeing there now. And that picture has several elements. Actually looking on it and noticing that one is missing, but that picture has several elements that I just want to quickly go through. Yes, it looks like a house, but it's a shop. So look on it as an IT shop. Look on the gentleman and the lady where the gentleman goes to this lady. And yes, women in IT, I see some women in the list. Yes, there is a place for you as well. So they go and they ask for some requirements. They want to build some product. They want some solution. So they want to engage you for some solution. And that lady takes that information and sits with her team and works out those requirements. So you now have to hand over to the business analyst. And you see there in the list that was explained earlier that there is a course there that strengthens you and makes you the best business analyst that you can be. And then it goes to the developer for them to develop for coding, etc. And moves on to quality assurance. Now, quality assurance is a very essential part in the whole grand scheme of things. It ensures that the product that you're delivering out there is A1 quality. It is bug-free. When the users are using it, there is no complaints because it would have been thoroughly tested. It would be tested for functionality. It would be tested for scalability. It would be tested to manage load. So going into the field of just testing is marketable, and there is a course there for it as well too. The next on the curve is being DevOps. So someone there being able to deploy that application, managing that application, where there are a lot of cloud services, AWS, Azure, and we need persons who can manage those spaces. A lot of persons are asking for software as a service. So you need technicians who can manage the applications in those spaces, managing the containers that these applications are hosted in, etc. Vector has some course there for that. The image that is missing is a help desk operator that should have been on there. There is a course for that as well too, and there is a need for help desk support. So any IT company out there serving persons need that entry point where all queries go to and all are managed, all are resolved timely, and you need a coordinator for that, and that's where your help specialist comes in. But the top of the house, looking over everything and making sure that everything is okay, is your systems analyst, your cybersecurity technician, etc., who is managing and making sure that everyone is safe within the house. And the company that I work with now has all of these elements in there. So if you are just leaving high school and you're wondering, will I get a job? Yes, it's a rough market, but yes, there is an opportunity out there for you, because we need all of these elements to function comfortably, to produce that solution that we can be comfortable with. I mentioned JAMPRO as an example of a recent engagement, but based on my experience and what I'm doing now, I've had the opportunity to sit on steering committees for like Customs. Customs is implementing J-Swift, which is a single window system for trade. I've been able to sit on the committee for the port community system as well too. So there actually is software out there where all of the freight forwarders in Jamaica enter their manifest in there, and that data gets moved to customs for verification. All of those automation are in place and also are being built. So if you involve yourself and assert yourself well in your jobs, you have opportunities to move, you have opportunities to grow. I mentioned briefly women in IT. I don't think we have enough women in IT. I'm not sure why, I'm not sure if there's a fear, but I would want to encourage the ladies, the names that I saw in this list, ladies who are listening to me, put your stamp on it. It doesn't have to be a feminist stamp. It just needs to be a stamp that says, I want to contribute. I want to do IT. And it can be any one of these elements that I mentioned, and this is not even all. So you can put your footprint in this IT industry as well. When I got called for the JAMPRO program, told you there were 16 companies, 15 males, 1 female. And there was much to do about it, and there was much excitement and much hurrah in the room. And so I just want to encourage you all to walk that journey and put your face out there. The last thing that I want to speak about is the inner you. IT is an area where you delve into, I'm going to call it a lot of secrecy. You have to manage data that is sensitive. You know that they're coming out with the Data Protection Act and all of these things that you actually need to familiarize yourself with. So one of the things I want to encourage you to do as well too is to go and read up in terms of what is happening out there. So you are able to touch on these sensitive areas. You're able to look at the numbers. And I always tell persons that you can add a 0 at the end of something, and it can change it into 1,000,000. Easy, easy. But what's going to stop you from doing that is your ethics, your morals. And I know even in the whole grand scheme of the product that Vector goes through, they also touch on the soft skills. They touch on that area as well too, which is what helps and what makes this course rounded and grounded course for you. So what is going to let you stand up above the rest is, as I say, your morals. You're doing the right thing, even when no one tells you to do it or when no one is looking. Because where you are at, you can hit hard. You can expose unnecessarily. You can corrupt. But who is it that you really, really want to be? Do you want to be that enemy? Or do you want to be that person who further down the road, everyone respects, everyone shares accolades about you because of your integrity, because of the things that you stand up for? So while you walk the journey in IT, I encourage you to have these high morals, high ethical standards. Be assertive, not rude, but assertive. So be experts in your field so that when you speak from a point of authority, from a point of belief, so that what you carry through in the organization, someone will want to listen to you. Someone will want to take your advice, because you will become that person as well, to that go-to person that a lot of persons will come to and ask, how best should I do this? How best should I do that? And they may not come to you day one. They may not come to you day two, but it is you being assertive in your job. Day 1, day 2, day 10, day 50, day 365, that makes a difference. Just like how that manager looked on me, I didn't even know that I was being looked at in that light, to move me from development, just pick me out of the development department and move me to manage a team of business analysts. I never knew anyone was reviewing me for that position. I didn't know that anyone would have been looking to move me to a manager, to an assistant vice president. But you just be assertive about yourself, be truthful about yourself, and you will move. Your company will soar. The other 15 companies that I have met in that Jam Pro program, a lot of the persons who are coming to the sessions are the CEOs, the managers of the programs, and they're very respectable persons that you can rely on. And that is who you want to be. Finally, I want to encourage, a lot of times in IT, we put our heads down in the sand and we don't look on anything else. We just about the network and the development and the business analytics, etc., and business analysis, and we don't remember to volunteer. Give of yourselves, find some charity, and work and give of yourself along with the other things that you do. It helps you to be that rounded person. That's my few words that I have to share with you today. I hope that I was able to encourage you to stay on this path. I hope you believe me when I say that there is a space for you in IT. And I hope you take my advice in terms of the ethical and moral road that you need to walk down when you take on this challenge. Thank you very much for listening to me. And I guess at the appropriate time, I'll answer any questions that you have.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wilson Kelly. Your speech was very enlightening, and I'm sure that, everyone got received the message well. I have a few questions in the chat here. Okay, so I'm seeing one that says, in regards to a network technician, how is this career performing? Hold on. There's something, okay. Yeah, this is from Kerry Wallace. In regards to a network technician, how is this career performing and its relevance in today's IT industry? So we take just
All
this
right,
one
so-
question, no, and then we move on. So you can go ahead and answer.
Okay, so I am using the definition of network technician as one who actually does the repairs of the equipment
Yes,
and not an engineer who may be setting up networks, etc. So I'm just making that differentiation up front.
right,
And yes, it is relevant. You do have persons who still need somewhere to carry their equipment for repairs. You do have, I've seen persons hold on to laptops and machines like it is them life, because they would have put on how much information on there, and to get a new one, either unaffordable or the task of shifting that information from one laptop to the other. And I'm speaking from experience because I recently changed my laptop and I still have the old one put down there because I'm not giving it to anybody. But you still need that person who can service those laptops. It is still an industry out there. It is still a necessity in the whole grand scheme of IT. Somebody has to be there. It may not be a laptop, it may be a desktop, it may be a printer, it may be smaller devices, it may be handheld devices that are used for scanning in a warehouse, etc. Right? So you spread it from just those no devices to other things, your other IT, Internet of Things devices, other IT devices that you need to learn to repair as well too, because they're being used out there in the industry. Hope that answers the question.
yes, thank you for that response. All right. So for the other questions, we will answer them in our questions and answer session. Right. So up next, we have Mr. Jermaine Warren. Mr. Warren is a graduate of Vector Technology Institute. He is one of our past students. He pursued the Bachelor of Science in Information and Communication Technology. He is also pursuing the Advanced Diploma for Cybersecurity Analyst. Right, so Mr. Warren will be sharing with you what his experience was like studying at Vector, how it has helped in developing his career goal, and what it is that prospects and students can expect from the IT industry. Mr. Warren, are you with us? Are you ready? Mr. Warren? All right, it seems we have been kicked off. Okay, so while we wait for Mr. Warren, we'll move on to the next presenter. All right, so our next presenter is our executive director, Mrs. Karen Marbruce. Mrs. Marbruce is the co-founder of Vector Technology Institute, and she'll be sharing with us how students can finance their education, also scholarships that VTI offer, and external scholarships and funding. Mrs. Bruce, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead. Would you like to share or this is fine?
No, I
Okay.
will just,
No.
good
problem.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'd
Good
like to
evening.
ask. Evening. Evening,
Greeting.
everyone. I see some of you are in my current class. Yes, I am marking your papers, don't worry. I'd like to ask a question. Are money spent on your education an expense or an investment? As young people, you must learn to prioritize the development of your whole being. Jeff Cobb wrote about the topic. Are your offerings an investment or an expense? It is an essential question to ask about how you, as students, perceive your own participation in your professional development activities, as well as about how we at Vector Tech perceive our prospective students' participation in our organization's offerings. When you view something as an expense, your expectations will be relatively low. An expense may be deemed to be simply just a transaction in which you give something, usually money, in exchange for something we can call stuff. Sometimes it's stuff we keep, sometimes it's stuff we consume, whether literally or figuratively. Either way, we don't really expect the stuff to grow in value. And I dare say it normally does not. Now, I'm going to talk about females, but I'm not knocking you females. You may spend a lot of money buying your hair, spend a lot on nails, on your makeup, but when you wash it away, it's just you, plain you. Spending it on educating yourself, the knowledge is still within you. The skills you learn are still within you. You cannot wash that away. And this will be an investment which will grow in value as you make yourself more marketable. So an investment is different. By definition, we expect an investment to grow in value. We put in our money or put in our time or whatever other resources specifically because we hope to get more back than what we put in. We seek what we call a return on our investment. And we're usually disappointed if we don't get a good one. When we treat education as an expense, we tend to focus on price. We focus on features. We want a quid pro quo, a clear sense that the stuff we get is equal to the money we pay. Notably, it is only when education is viewed like this, that is, as an expense, that we will hear some people say that the course is deemed to be expensive. When we treat education as an investment, on the other hand, price is never normally the main consideration. A person wanting to be skilled and knowledgeable in certain technologies will view education as an investment and are often willing to pay much more than what they would pay for education that they perceive to be an expense. We can see and we believe in the change the educational experience is capable of creating within you, within your cognitive development, making yourself more marketable. You let your qualifications and certifications speak for you. as learners, that mean you believe in who you are buying from. And it also crucially means that you believe in yourselves. On the other hand, for Vector Tech, it means we believe in our learners. And also it means, again, critically, that we believe in ourselves and in the value we are offering to you, our students. Now step back for a second and think about your own professional development plans for this year. Just this year, next year as well, but just take it one step at a time. Because one thing for sure is that our curriculum development committee, in trying to keep abreast of technology, thinks about how our prospective learners, you, will perceive our offerings. Are the fees that you intend to find an expense or an investment? Which will it be? Your answers will speak volumes about your own future and the future of your learning experience that you are about to embark on, and those of you who are already there that you are embarking on. Now, with the cost of college, we may say, is it worth it? With the cost of college rising each year and questionable career prospects await college graduates, some people are wondering if a college education is still worth it. If you took all the monies you spend on a college degree and invested it, would you come out ahead? Are college tuition and student loans really worth it? One of the ways to figure out if a degree is worth the money is to calculate the return on investment, the ROI, of a college education. Now, we won't be examining how to calculate the return on investment at this point, but let us use a real life scenario. If you and your friend were just leaving school, just leaving high school, and you both were given, let's say, 600,000, you use it to pursue an associate degree program in ICT. Now, your friend spent it on a second-hand car. Now, at the end of the year, you both went to seek a job in ICT. Who do you think would get the job? And who do you think would start earning a return on the investment of the 600,000? So that's a question for you to think about. Also, it is shown that adults who complete tertiary education benefit from high returns on investment because they are more likely to be employed and to earn more than adults without a tertiary education. But I think I'm talking to the converted. Let us look at the degrees with the best return on investment. Now we're going to be looking at the US. In the US, according to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, the highest paying undergraduate majors, broadly defined, for 2022 were computer science, engineering, math and natural sciences, social sciences in that, going down in that, social sciences, business, agriculture, and natural resources, communications, and humanities. So in Jamaica, the emerging industries and new career opportunities represent similar outcomes. Information technology is the best, as this has become the backbone of the 21st century. To be more specific, engineering, network infrastructure, data protection, mobile app development, project management, and now with the growing use of the internet, cyber security. And that is an area that Vector is going to be ramping up more and more and more, because that is where a lot of the challenges are going to be. Why studying is an investment. Investing in education is not just the right move, but it leads to smart economies. Economies that are well educated attract investors. Education leads a path towards health, empowerment, and employment. Evidence shows that each additional year of employment boosts a person's income by 10% and increases a country's gross domestic product by 18%. Now, how can you finance your education? I know a lot of you have challenges in that area, and a lot of you are trying your best to do so, to finance your education. Apart from putting some savings together and then plan to go to school while continuing to work, which was what most of our lecturers, myself, had to do. And many of you, I know, who are in my class, that's what you do. You go to work in the day, full time, and then you have to go and study in the evenings. We empathize with you, we have done it. But what I always say is that you have it a little easier because you have the computer, you have the Zoom, and you're right at your home. We didn't have that. So you are better off than when we had to do it. Now, in today's environment, there are numerous scholarships and grants that no one applies for. We had someone who came here from Hart. They had a lot of scholarships there, and they said it hardly was picked up. Mark you, I don't know where they advertised it, but they said that it was hardly taken up. It was just going there to waste. Nobody was applying for the scholarships. So let us see now, most banks, how do you try to finance? Get some sponsorship, get some scholarships going, some grants. How can you do that? You have to research. Most banks and financial services organizations have, as part of their philanthropic strategic objectives, they have foundations that offer scholarships and grants on an annual basis. You just need to take the time to research and look for them. Just look for all the foundation of all these organizations. Then many of them, most of them, because they want to show that they are giving back, right? They want to show that they are giving back. They all have foundations. You have the BNS Foundation, NCB, most of the banks, Victoria Mutual, Sagicor. You have LASCO, Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission, Jamaica Energy Partners, Burrito, and many, many more. Just seek it out. Now, you also have public sector grants that if parents are working there, they can get grants for their children. Now, of course, you have the ones that's not so favored, the Students' Loan Bureau. I know it's not favored by many, but if you're struggling, you remember, once you get your degree, you will be more marketable, and then you'll be able to pay back. And what I notice is that the government is trying to do a lot for education. So chances are the interest will probably be reduced as you go along. Don't take it from me, I'm not in government, but looking at what is happening there, it seems as if that may be the next step. Now, Vector Technology Institute, now this is where you all gravitate to. We have several internal payment plans, and based on whichever program is chosen. Normally, you're given 3 months to pay the full tuition fee. If you choose to pay it in 1 or 2 months, a discount is given. If you choose to pay it by selecting one of the other payment plans, from 4 to 10 months is allowed. And then, but as you know, finance charges will be applicable to that. Now I want to give you some breaking news. My registrar does not know this, but we will be having an early bird promotion if you register in August. So tell your friends, those who have not yet, are not a part of the Vector family, there will be an early bird promotion if you register in August, because the course or the program will start in September. So if they register in August, you will be eligible for an early bird discount. So the first thing now you should do when you are looking to, let's say, research your scholarship, how do you go? Because many of you don't really know what it takes to look for scholarships. You have it so easy. The internet is there, right? You don't have to go and buy a newspaper to search to see where it is. Internet is there. So the first thing you should do is examine the courses that we have. Which are the courses that you'd like to do? Try and think about it. You don't just have to do the technical course. You have the software courses for those of you who think you are so inclined. You have the cyber courses. You want to go in security. You have all of those courses. And you can do one degree and then do other courses as a postgrad program, right? As you know, in IT, it's always changing and you always have to upgrade yourself. IT, if you don't want to keep upgrading yourself, IT is not the place for you. It's better you go and do history. I always say that. So examine the courses that are being offered, select the program that you're interested in, and then you'll see what your outlay is going to be, what your investment total is going to be. Next, you do your research by seeking out the various organizations that offers scholarships or provide grants. As you know, grants is something that you don't pay back. So many would give grants. Now, identify what type of grants or scholarships are being offered by these organizations. What are the requirements for you to be eligible for? Once you recognize that, yes, you have found, and do more than one. Don't just apply to one. Apply to 10. Apply to 10. You may be lucky to get one, right? Because it's very competitive. And the more that persons know that, wait, scholarships are now out there, because it seems as if it was a secret. Scholarships are out there. It's just that you need to take the time to research. It's not going to be just given to you. You have to do some work. So you have to prepare a cover letter, a scholarship request letter, right? So you can find different examples of that. Just go and look on the internet and you will see examples of scholarship request letters. You may need to fill out an application form and take note of all that will be needed. So remember, you'll be going up against a lot of competition, right? Even though they have scholarships, it's going to be limited. So know something about the organization that you're applying to. Because if they call you, make sure you research what they're all about, right? It is very embarrassing when people are interviewing you, you come to make a request of them and they ask you a question. Why did you apply here? What sort of work do you think we do? Very embarrassing if you say you don't know. That gone to file 13. No, what is also important is that they always seem to want persons who give back to their community. Community service is very important. So if you want and you intend to start looking, and even those of you who are in year 1 or year 2 and you want to go to year 3, scholarships are there for that. So you have to plan, right? Plan, treat it like a project, plan it. Go and join some community service, do some community service, join your church outreach or any sports in your area or the club like that in your area. Try and give back because they want, that is very important to them, very important. So once you have decided that you need to make your investment into your development as a person, you must be committed. This is the hardest part now. You must be committed. And every obstacle that you face, and you will face a lot of obstacles. Don't fool yourself. It's not an easy journey, but you must turn every challenge, every problems, put it as a challenge that you are going to overcome. Every obstacle that comes in front of you, just jump over it. Go to the next one. See it as a race. I always tell my students, see it as a race. Get rid of all the obstacles that's in your way, and you're going to reach to the end of the race and be successful. Okay? So I hope you will all follow my advice about this. Too many of these scholarships are going to waste. That's not how it is abroad. That's not how it is. And in today's world, we never had it in our days. Never. All we had was a student loan. So you have a lot out there. Okay, so take my advice, please. I know a lot of you struggling. So to get to pay for your year 3 and your year 4, try and see. They may say to you that, okay, the scholarship has closed, but it will be open next year. It opens every year, just that it may close every point in time. So by January, start looking. As a matter of fact, start looking now and let them tell you about it, and they will tell you when it will open again. You make a note of it, and as soon as it opens, you be ready with your letter and your request. Have it ready, prepared. 10 of them, you're going to 10 different entities. Just be ready. You may be lucky to get one. Okay, so that is it for tonight. Thank you very much for listening to me, and have a good day. I mean, night.
Thank you very much. This is
Okay,
Bruce. Very
Right.
informative presentation. All right, so we have some questions, but we are almost there to the question and answer segment that will answer all questions. All right, so I just want to go over some of our required qualifications for our programs. So for the diploma, whether it is computer systems technology or software programming, the required qualifications is 4 CXC subjects, math and English are compulsory. For substitute for math, we accept principles of accounts. And then for the associate and the bachelor's degree, it is 5 CXC subjects. Math and English are compulsory and the same applies. A substitute for math, we accept principle of business. Now, for students who may have maybe one subject short, whether it be the compulsory subject or any other subject. For example, for the diploma, if you don't have math or you don't have English, then you have 4 subjects, then we may admit you on a provisional basis pending the submission of that outstanding subject, okay? And the same applies for the associate and the bachelor's degrees. Another point to take, if you're interested in the bachelor's degree right off the bat, the institution entry policy is that you must pursue the associate degree first before moving on to the bachelor's. So the associate degree is the first 2 years of the bachelor's degree. So once you have completed the associate degree, then you matriculate into the final 2 years for the bachelor's degree. All right. And now we're down to the question and answer segment. So I'm going to first, what you guys can do, you can post your questions in the chat and we will go through them. So I am going through the first question. Not sure if this person is still in the meeting, hope so. So this is Quasi Bertrand. His question was, what is vector policy on transferring credits? How many can be transferred and the costs associated with that? All right, so we do accept transfer of credits. There are no costs associated with transferring credits. The process of transferring credits is that the student must have pursued university status courses by an accredited institution. The student will need to complete a credit transfer form, and also they would need to submit an official transcript from the institution that they pursued those courses. Once they submit the transcript along with that form, then the document will be processed and we will give you our feedback. If we need any additional information, then we will request those. Another part to the question was that in relation to online courses that has an in-person component, how does that affect someone? How does that affect someone not living in Jamaica? I'm assuming that's what it says. And is there any work around that or any additional part to make up for that shortfall? All right, I can speak to what I know and then I'll ask one of my presenters to back me up. So for the physical aspect or the practical aspect of work courses, let's say for the diploma or the associate degree, usually students would need to come in if they need to do any practical lab exercises, right? If students that are not currently on the island, they would have to buy the equipment and do a virtual setup, carry out that lab virtually. So they would have to record it and then they would forward that to their lecturer. Mr. Brown, I'm not sure if Dr. Mara is still with us. Mr. Brown, can you confirm my answer?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay, yes. So that is how you would carry out practical exercises if you're not in the island. Another question from the same person, Mr. Bertrand, is there any scholarships for vector students outside Jamaica? Mrs. Bruce had just presented on scholarships. I'm not sure if I've heard any scholarships for persons outside of Jamaica. Mrs. Bruce, did you mention anything about scholarships for persons who are abroad?
No, if they are Jamaicans, well, they probably could apply to those are out here if they are Jamaicans. But if they are not Jamaicans, I don't think they would be able to fit into any of the
Or you discuss local scholarships, so not any international scholarships?
no, and I don't
No.
think if they get international scholarship, if it would apply to doing the course in Jamaica.
Oh, okay, I see. All right. Okay, so the next question was from Christopher Thomas. How will large language models like ChatGPT change the ICT landscape? How do I stay relevant? Mr. Brown, yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, ChatGPT, AI in general, will have a huge impact on the ICT industry. I am sure you may be able to go on any one of the AI models and ask it to write a program in any programming language, and it would be able to do that for you in possibly under 1 minute. Now, that does not mean that we will no longer have need for software developers. To give you an example why that is so, very recently in the US, there was a court case and 3 lawyers consulted ChatGPT to write their brief so that they could present in court. And ChatGPT wrote them a brief with a fake case, a case that did not exist. And they took that to court and it was recognized by the judge. They were fined, almost lost their license. So while AI will be able to do a lot of these things, it still will require a human to vet the output of ChatGPT or any other AI. To be able to vet that output, you would still need the skills as if you were the one creating the product. So AI will definitely cause things to move faster, far faster than it is now, but it does not mean the elimination of the human element. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, I'm hoping it did, because I got it. All right, so there was another question from Venicia Burke. How can I get on the internship program? Mr. Brown?
Right, so the internship is actually packaged within the associate degree. It is the last module within the associate degree. And so for a student to be a part of the internship, that student would actually need to be going through the associate degree and has gotten to the end and then participate in the internship. Currently, there's no option for someone just to participate on the internship outside of being a student within the associate degree.
Okay. All right, so another question. This is from Stephanie Crossdale. I am a lover of IT, stuck in the business field. Fixing a computer, not a challenge. question is, being in my late 30s, do you think I would still be marketable at this age?
Absolutely. There are a number of persons at later years than 30 who are changing careers. In fact, myself is a career changer, and it was in my 30s that I changed from what was then telecommunication, which did not involve any computer at all. And I switched. Of course, that's some time ago, but that scenario still exists. To change career is something that the industry doesn't frown upon, and there's always room for new entrants. Now, it is important to note that you are going to be a new entrant as far as starting IT, and you should expect that you will not be starting at the top. And you would need to be able to work through the stages to be able to get to the top or where you want to be. You may be able to progress faster than someone who is just starting out in the world of work because you've had the work experience and you're able to bring that learning from prior exposure and this knowledge of how the world of work functions. And that will assist you to move faster through your new career of choice.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Brown. All right, so there's another question from O'Brien Smith. In this day and age where certifications have so much weight, are university degrees still relevant, especially at the undergraduate level?
And you know, so that question can be looked at in so many ways. I want to start by saying, when you think of what is expected of anyone in the world of work, there are three things. There is education, there is experience, and then there is the practical skills and know-how that you may be able to get from certifications. While certifications can get you started and present you with specific lines of skill, education is what you will be getting from an undergraduate or any academic program. And that developed more than just the technical skills. Within education, this is where you will get your roundedness, your soft skills, your ability to write properly, your ability to speak, your ability to be compassionate, your ability to understand the requirements of a job, your ability to speak to your manager and persons who are operating at higher levels within the organization than yourself. So aside from the technical skills, there is a whole world of other skills we classify as soft skills that are going to be required, and education will get you those. So an undergraduate degree or any degree at all is still important.
Yes, Mr. Brown, yes, Mrs. Bruce here. No, I always say that if you intend to climb up the ladder, right, to move up, you need to have your degree. Certificate alone will take you so far and no more. They're always looking for persons with a degree to move further up the ladder in the working world. All right, so yes, you can continue with the certificate first, learn the technical skills, get your experience at that. But once you start to move up and you find that now, yes, they're giving you persons to supervise, certificate course is not gonna help you to be able to supervise persons. And you must remember that the higher you climb, other persons may be coming under you who will now be having their degrees. So you will still be stuck with your certificate, and then those coming up under you who you may find that you may have to start to be supervising, they end up having their degrees. So you can't stop. It's not one or the other. In the IT world, it's best if it is the two. It's best if you even get your international certifications as well. Anytime a new technology comes out, you get that certification. We are now going to be looking at VMware. So now there's going to be international certification in those courses. So there are always new courses. And once it is international, there's a certification that is international. You take that one and you get recognized for it. So yes, you have your degree, but then always keep going out for other things. So it's not one or the other, okay?
This is Kay. Can I just give a response on it as
Sure.
well too?
Sure, no problem.
A lot of companies, well, I'm speaking locally, tend to align with universities when they want to bring in interns for summer. So a lot of times they know someone at the university and they just call on and say, can you send me resumes for, etc. So going through the steps of doing the university degree has its assets, as everyone would have shared as well too. And sometimes it's a direct link based on the fact that you're final year in the university, a company looking for someone to pull in to assist for the summer, who I can tell you the last intern that I took, I ended up taking them full time. And one of the things I even want to do with Vector, with the company that I'm at, is look on some of the programmers that are there to see who can come to help me with the development work that I'm doing. And so I'm going to align myself with a university to be able to pull in those persons to come and help me. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Thanks for the clarification, everyone. All right, so our next question is, will the school be offering more cybersecurity courses?
So currently there is the Advanced Cybersecurity Diploma, and we're working on a cybersecurity bachelor's program. So that's where the trajectory is looking. So the short answer is yes. There will be, in short order, a cybersecurity degree program.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. So we have Conroy Robinson wanted to ask his question verbally. Mr. Robinson, you can go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, pleasant afternoon. Hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you. I have a few questions I want to ask. I'll just probably ask one and then mute. Thing O'Brien had asked in terms of the cybersecurity course. I think up in the year I saw you had one, not the advanced one. I think I don't remember. I think I saw a different one than the advanced one. So I really wanted to get into that area of cybersecurity, but there was some fear in terms of approaching the environment when I'm not really used to anything in terms of IT. I started out doing electrical engineering, right? But then I kind of think I don't know if her name was Miss Wallace or Kier Wallace was speaking, and she said that probably she stopped, her program there at UWI, and I kind of have a similar experience when I was doing the engineering program, but I didn't like it. I kind of grew up watching National Geographic Channel, like the whole, engineering course where I was seeing it on TV, but when the experience was, I never really enjoyed, right? And I had some other experience that I had in terms of personal that I had to really move away from that, right? So now I'm in my 30s, early 30s, I would say, and wanting to go into an era where I can scale in terms of cybersecurity. But I don't want to go into the era and knowing that I'm not so familiar with a lot of stuff. I want to make sure to me that I am well equipped to take on this course now, right? So I'm gonna ask the first question: what are some of the different like certificates that you think that would be an advantage for me entering the cybersecurity course? I was seeing like networking and some other person was saying Python, but I'm thinking about networking. We're probably doing a networking course and doing also I think it was the fiber optical course, which start next month. I'm thinking about those two. That should be able to give me an advantage in taking on this course. You can go ahead.
So I'd want to start the answer by saying, when we think of cybersecurity, which is really information assurance, we're trying to secure data. And this data is held on devices. It's being traversed across networks. And also there are persons who are custodian of the data. So really, how do we secure that data is to secure the device that is holding the data, secure the network on which the data is traversing, and secure the person who is the custodian of the data. And so when we think now of moving into cybersecurity, to be able to get a full grasp of that security concept, it's usually best to start at those peripheral or lower elements, which is first understand the device, then understand the network, and then we can move into the cybersecurity. And the programs are designed that way. So all of the security programs will first take you through understanding the device, the computers, the mobile phones, and then look at the computer, then look at the operating systems, and then move into cybersecurity. So going through any one of those programs would ensure that by the time you start to look at cybersecurity, you would have had the prerequisite knowledge to be able to be successful at a course that is dealing with security, and also be successful in the program itself.
Mr. Robinson, does that answer your question?
Yeah, man, to some extent. Thank you for it. So, yes, that's pretty much, answered. Would want to know though. You said that you have an advanced course though. Is that I'm not. I'm just asking. I want to know more still in terms of what are the prerequisites. Anyway, hello.
Yes, we're hearing you.
Yes, we're
When I'm
hearing
saying
you.
what are the requirements like to take on the advanced course in the cybersecurity though? I'm seeing you have an advanced course.
Right. So the advanced cybersecurity diploma starts with the A+, which is looking at being able to troubleshoot and maintain and install computer systems, work with the operating systems and applications on the computer and on mobile phones. So that's where it starts. in terms of if you were, I'm not sure if when you said prerequisite, you were thinking of entry requirements. If that
Yeah,
is
I think you were
right,
thinking about entry requirements. So the entry
okay,
requirements for cybersecurity would be, the candidate must have some knowledge of IT per se, right? So you can either have a degree or certification in IT, or you can have the 6C subjects, 5 6Cs, should include math and English, along with some working experience in IT. So
right.
that is the groundwork for the requirements for that.
Yeah, well, I don't really have the experience in terms of the IT sector, but I think I have the CXC. That's why I'm saying I want to do like, I don't know if I can do like the fiber optical, I don't know, or the network course
Right, we would,
that you
yeah,
offer.
in your
that
case,
can-
what we would do would introduce you to the technician series. So you can either do the service technician, network technician, or the network security technician. And those programs is a pathway into cybersecurity. Right, so it's like you're on your way to cybersecurity. Once you have completed any one of those, you can matriculate into cybersecurity.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, so on to our next question. This is from Javane Thomas. Will Vector be offering any AC courses in the future? AC. I'm not sure. I haven't heard of any AC courses being developed. Mr. Brown, have you?
No,
No, right, not at this time. But once we do, of course, we will send out the information. So the next question is from Junior Solomon. Good day. For the software programming degree, the only 2 levels that are offered is the diploma and associate. Yes, currently we're only offering the diploma and associate degree in software programming, but we are working on a bachelor's degree, but it has not been released yet. But as soon as we do, the public will be notified. All right, and then another question from Stephanie Crossdale. Due to financial restrictions, I am preparing to start with the diploma. Okay, and then move on to the degree in the same area. Is there a better suggestion that offers me financial ease / no pressure? Starting out from the diploma is fine. We have students that start diploma, then associate, then bachelor's. That is fine, that's no issue. But I'm not sure when you say if there's another suggestion that offers financial ease. Mrs. Booth would have spoken about the different scholarships, that are being offered, and also Vector's payment plan that you can take advantage of. So Stephanie, can you clarify that last part of your question, please? In the meantime, Christopher Thomas, another one. Can I take a couple software engineering courses while also pursuing a bachelor's degree in information and communication technology? Yes, you can do so as long as there is as long as you're not experiencing any clashes as it relates to schedules, then that is fine. You can do so. And then Javane Thomas, will there be any master level courses? All right, so for masters, at this time, we don't offer any. Of course, in the near future, Vector wants to expand. So of course, we will look at that option, but currently we don't offer any master level courses. Another one from Conroy. When will the network security technician start? Okay, so all technician series courses will commence in October, I believe the 23rd of October. And guys, please be reminded that our website is vti.edu.jm. All our courses are displayed there along with the course information, requirements for each course, costs for the course, start dates for the course, right? soon as you're interested in any one of our courses, you can always contact us. One of our representatives will be happy to always assist. Okay. And then we have another question here from O'Brien Smith. Are the degree courses internationally recognized? Okay. So when persons say internationally recognized, I'm not sure if they're asking if the courses are accredited. Or degrees or associate degree in computer systems technology, and our 2 bachelor's degrees are accredited by the University Council of Jamaica, which means the programs are internationally recognized, and it means that all credits in that program are transferable. So if you do, let's say, the associate degree here and you want to transfer your credit to an institution in New York or England or wherever, yes, the credits are transferable. Next question. Are there any courses that require CAPE subjects? Not necessarily. I know UA's requirements courses would require CAPE, or courses are mainly entry level, so that CXCs are our main requirements for any one of our programs. The only program that doesn't necessarily have any academic entry requirements is fiber optics technician. Every other else program requires some level of CXC or experience. All right, so this is Jermaine. So I'm on computer service technician. If I get a certificate, what will be, okay, computer service technician, if I get a certificate, what will be recognized? I'm assuming that you're asking if the certificate will be recognized, the service technician. All right, so the service technician teaches the curriculum for CompTIA A+, right? And if you're in that program, Mr. Salman, I'm sure that your lecturer would have made mention of doing that certification. And as Mr. Brown would have pointed out, and Mrs. Bruce would have pointed out earlier, we usually, while certifications are not mandatory, we usually recommend that once you do these courses, you do sit the international certifications. All right, so once you have completed the service technician course, you can go ahead and sit the CompTIA A+ international exam. All right, and then once you are internationally certified, yes, you will be recognized. All right. What course would you recommend with the software programming degree? I'm not sure what you mean. What course would you recommend with the software? I'm not sure what you mean, Mr. Solomon. All right, so not seeing any other questions. But for the software degree, we offer diploma in software and associate degree. And those are the only 2 software degree, software programming or software engineering degree that we offer at this time. And there are roadmap to get to the highest level in networking. Mr. Brown, this is the last question, guys. Mr. Brown, the student is asking, is there a roadmap in order to get to the highest level in networking?
Right. So, networking has taken on a whole lot of different turns recently. So the highest level in networking there's no one thing that says this is the highest level in networking. From a networking perspective, though, the current bachelor's degree would have gone through certification as well as the academic program requirements. The certification looks at Cisco's Certified Network Associate, which is Cisco's first networking certification. Now, if you're continuing in the path of becoming a Cisco specialist, that certification would have now provided you with the expertise and the knowledge to be able to move up. And the next level within Cisco's networking certification would be the Cisco Certified Networking Professional. And CCNA does provide all the prerequisite to that. Having earned the CCNP, then there is the CCIE, which is Cisco's top level certification. These are persons now who would work on very large networks that are spanning multiple countries. So there is a pathway through that. Looking now from the side of, say, VMware, VMware also has similar tracks. And the VMware course that Vector will be delivering is the starting level, and that would prepare you to move through the ranks, similarly to how you would move through the ranks with the Cisco certification. Thirdly, I want to mention from the academic perspective now, having earned the bachelor's degree, and Dr. Marr would have mentioned that these bachelor's degree have met the requirement so that one can move on to a master's degree. And so having earned the bachelor's degree at Vector, you're able to move to a master's degree in any other institution that is offering a master's degree in networking. And so there is that pathway to get to higher levels of networking skill and career.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you. A great thanks to all our guest speakers, Ms. Rosa Kelly, Mr. Brown, Mrs. Moose, Dr. Marr, even though I think he's not with us anymore. And a big thank you to all our participants, our students, our prospective students. Thank you very much for attending our career information session. We hope that the information was well received, right? And any confusion about where you want to be in IT, or even if you want to enter the IT sector, I hope all of that was cleared up. If you're considering becoming a student with Vector, please contact us. We will be happy to have you. As I mentioned before, our website is vti.edu.jm, or you can type Vector Technology Institute in Google. We should come up. All our programs are up there, are listed there, along with the information, the start dates, the cost, the program curriculum, and all of that. Okay, so thank you once again, everyone. I do hope you have a wonderful evening. Right?
Thank you, and thank you, Ms. Edwards, for
Thank
hosting.
you. Same to you.
You're welcome.
Good evening.